Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are here for more Script Camp going into this new year, hopefully with a bunch of ideas and a bunch of new projects to work on. 2026, we are planning out what our portfolio is going to look like this year by trying to allocate time for different projects and assessing what is worth the opportunity cost of the huge time investment that it takes to actually write something like a full feature script or a full book or whatever it is you're working on. Today we'll have a little time for feedback on log lines or premises if you guys are still figuring out what you want to write this year. You can also, if you have like a couple different ones that you're trying to choose between, you can share those if you want. We will have a segment for that. And we will also look at Blacklist, which came out in December, comes out in December of every, or like early January, late December of every year. And that is basically a list of the popular unproduced scripts in Hollywood of many different genres and types, and with all different types of attachments. Some of them are going to be written by famous authors or famous screenwriters. Some of them will be written by unknowns. They're all over the map. Many of them have attachments of some kind and will be developed into movies down the line. Maybe like 40% of the 50% of them, something like that tend to get made in the future at some stage or another. We don't have to take it way too seriously, but we'll at least be looking at that and this to get the sense of what is getting set up right now, what is getting sold right now, and we will try to come up with some ideas that are kind of like those. Okay, before we dive in, does anybody want to update us with the projects that they're working on this year? Maybe any questions you have about premises that you're developing? Which one do I want to write? I'm not sure about my logline. Anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So uh this year I made the conscious decision that I really want to get back into screenwriting. Um because I want to make sure that I want to be a writer who writes in many different genres, and therefore I need to be committed to doing not genres, formats, and therefore I need to be committed to doing that. Um and I decided I wanted to work on a kids TV show. I told you the idea before. It was the one with the group of kids who were brought. Earth is destroyed, and they're brought by an alien species to like a sanctuary where there's loads of other alien species, and they've got to try and fit in and survive in this new kind of world. Not book. That would be a TV series.
Oh,
Animation. Yeah, pilot animation. I also have a comedy TV script that I want to polish, which is a British comedy. And of course I got my novel, which is in like final editing stages. So I want to finish another novel again this year, either a sequel to that one or a brand new book.
okay. Sounds like you've got a
There's
pretty
a
good
lot, I
plan. Yeah, no, I recommend aiming for about that many, about three projects a year at the in the bigger scale. Do you have any questions about these or anything you're unsure about? Anything you're trying to figure out?
Um, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the plot of the Alien one, but I'm sort of still it's formulating because that's the one where I had the time travel wonder plot that I'm now taking out, if you remember that. So I am trying to think what like the through line's going to be because I've got individual episodes, but with the audience I'm aiming for because it's going to be it's I'm aiming at tweens, so I'm aiming a bit older than um normal cartoons. I'm sort of aiming Disney Channel type tween.
Yeah,
So
I
normally
figured
you have
we call it
yeah.
Y7. Like it goes
Okay.
TVG, TV. I think we used to have TVPG. That may not come up as much anymore, but then TVY7, and then after that is TV14, and then TVMA. That's kind of our
Okay.
age groups.
Ours is UPG, PG 12, which means suitable for anyone but recommended for above 12, then 15, then 18, then mature.
You have 18
So
and
we
mature. Those are two separate
yeah, if it's
ratings, really?
really bad,
Wow.
yeah. If it's like basically if it's just got mature rating, it's like pretty much banned. You won't get it in the cinema.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's sort of a de facto banning. We have a rating like that too, but it doesn't come out much.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm still trying to work out like what kind of the base through line could be, and I still want it to be linked with family and parents. So I'm sort of trying to work out whether it's maybe that their parents were rescued as well, but that this species keeps families apart for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm just kind
Well,
of like, you know,
it might make a lot of sense that, we they take a look at the Earth and the fact. Well, I forget if in your story it was humans who destroy the Earth or if it's natural causes. Which one was it? Are you still working on it?
but it's humans,
It is
humans.
humans. So I could easily see a world
Yeah,
where they're like, no, the adults of the world are not fit to raise the children. Like they have clearly built a society in which you have destroyed yourselves. So therefore, we have
yeah,
to be the ones to raise you now, or the AI that we have has to
yeah.
raise you now, or you have to follow our rules. Clearly, the parent-child structure that you guys were using was not working.
Yeah, so they're without parents. So then it's what's the through line? Is it found family in that case? I like the idea there's lots of different alien species in this environment. So it's kind of that almost galaxy high setting with like different species and it's, that sort of drama that goes on with it's kind of like a boarding school story, but
Yeah.
set in space, if you
Hmm.
get that, yeah. But then I say it's just kind of what the main through line is gonna be.
It's a good
Um
question. Do you have any notes that you want to open up and look at, or do you want to just talk it through for now?
Talking it through is probably helpful. I haven't really written anything. When I'm first formulating ideas, I tend to do a lot of daydreaming
Okay.
rather than jotting it down.
All right. So in that
Um,
case, I guess the big question to assess is, do you see a world or like a vision for the show in which the parents actually show back up at some point and like we're doing adventures with them? Or is that like would that sort of ruin the vibe? Would that harsh the vibes?
I did originally picture that would be like the finale when it was the time travel concept. However, you're right. If I then got a second season, that could ruin the vibe because then the kids can't just do whatever they
Yeah.
want.
We won at our
Um,
adventure. Now we have to go back to boring life.
yeah. So, yeah, maybe it is that they've. But then I suppose my question is, how do I avoid the inevitable really downer beginning when they're all going to be mourning their parents?
Well, I mean, think of Hitchhiker's Guide. Hitchhiker's Guide is a very light, very fun, very comedic story that starts with every single person that Arthur knows being killed, right? So I think it can be done. Like, if you just don't really think about it too much, or maybe you sort of say that the parents are safe somewhere, but we can't get to them, or like that even that idea of deliberately keeping them apart. I guess that does create the inherent objective. Well, we have to reunite with them to some extent, but if
Yeah.
like to eliminate that possibility as soon as possible, it might allow us to focus on the aspirational nature of that. Or maybe like your parents are on another ship, they'll be checking in 2 years. Or something like that. You could have like a really long
Yeah.
clock on their returning, so therefore we don't really have to be that sad.
Yeah, true. Or like I say, it could be something where, yes, it is something that comes up, but it comes up occasionally rather than all the time.
Sure. Or it might also just be
You
some
know,
sort of distant goal, like when you turn 18, then you'll be considered an adult too, and you'll go to where we took the adults.
oh, yeah, I like that idea. Yeah.
The adults are all being re-educated to, to cleanse their minds of all the war and violence that they have, like internalized through their human upbringing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the children are being educated the same way that the children of any species would be sort of like assimilated into the galactic community.
Yeah, because children's minds are malleable.
Yeah, makes them the perfect soldiers, if that's the route you're going. But that's the Ender's Game approach, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not soldiers. I genuinely think that this species are good.
Okay.
They want to they're kind of, you know how like we go in and save endangered species and we consider ourselves good, but
Hmm.
effectively we're locking them up in cages.
Sure.
It's that kind of concept of good. So I do want there to be this element of um uh this element of uh the kids learn from this species overlord that runs them, but also this species overlord also learns because maybe it doesn't understand the concept of love. Like that's the
Sure.
kind of theme I was going for. What makes us, human is the capacity for love. I mean, all animals have that capacity, but like that's something which we have above synthetic life. And I imagine the thing that's going around saving isn't biological life, it's saving biological life, but it understands the importance of preserving intelligent life, but it doesn't understand love.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. It could be a galactic species, kind of like the Reapers from Mass Effect, who are basically custodians of the galaxy. And when they are much more evil, though. Their take on that is essentially we're like a hyper advanced, nano machine alien race, and we come in like every couple thousand years when the technology level of the universe starts getting too high, and like as a result, it starts to ruin things. Like everyone's building mass FTL portals all over the place and stuff like this. So they come in and like destroy and reset everything back to zero. But they don't think that's evil. They see that as just kind of like leveling the sandbox, like resetting things back to a natural state.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe there's a kind of alien logic that they can be applying there, even if they're not really bad guys necessarily.
Maybe it wasn't the humans who destroyed the planet. Maybe that's just what they were told. Maybe it was this alien species that have gone, we've got to preserve the species, but we can't let it go on the way it's going.
Oh, but
Let's
sure. We have to regrow it from scratch, basically. We have to like restart the
Mhm.
universe.
That could be the through line.
It's pretty dark, but it could work.
I mean, when you look at the kinds of shows I'm looking at, Owl House, Amphibia, Gravity Falls, I cried at the end of both Owl House and Amphibia. Amphibia, I sobbed my heart out. Like they can go quite very emotional because it's tweens, they can cope a bit more, but it's still got that fun, you know. So
Sure. Okay. Well, now you just have to think of what we're watching people do every episode.
yeah, I mean that would be all the weird kind of adventures, and that's built around the world we're in. Um, because there's going to be things, things like, so when you look at, for example, Our House or Amphibia, it's connecting with the life. So with Amphibia, it's, suddenly she's a teenage girl, right? And she's in this rock place in that show. And suddenly she's got to do things like go and do their farming. She's got to do farming, which she's never done before. So she spends the whole day pretending to be sick so she doesn't have to do any work. But lo and behold, she then gets sick at the end and she misses out on something she really wanted to do. It's those kind of like hijinks, but with a overall through line, but these sort of individual little kind
So,
of
so you want kind of lower urgency, like lower sense of we don't have to constantly be advancing our goals.
um yeah, the way that I've seen a lot of these these shows do it is that you advancing your goals with through line, but every now and then you just have this really calming episode where the agency is really the stakes are really low
Mm.
just to keep it calm. So with Amphibia, she's trying to get home, she's stuck, she's trying to get home. Her best friend is now like on the enemy side. Um, they got this big long journey. This is sort of in the second season, but they've got this big long journey. Everything's in peril. But there's still occasionally an episode where it's sibling rivalry over who gets to sit in the front seat. And that's what the whole 15 minutes is, because otherwise it gets really like down. And I've noticed what they do. So, those 15-minute slots, like I said, and it makes a full episode. They tend to do a real like low stakes fun for one of those, and then a really heavy link to the main plot for another.
Hmm.
So they kind of have them together.
Okay. It sounds kind of tricky to write that actually, because that's two separate and contained stories, the first of which has to
I
set
know.
everything up. So you actually have less time to set everything up now.
Yeah.
And then the second one has to then advance and develop that premise while being a self-contained story too. So it's actually kind of like even more structurally. It's like two separate stories that have to act in the same structural sequence as each other. So not easy to write for sure, but sounds like it could work.
I'm only focusing on the pilot at the moment. I don't have to worry about the other episodes. Not at this
But you're
point.
saying the pilot would have two episodes in it, right? So that is two separate
No,
stories.
no, the pilot, it would be two episodes, but because the pilot is setting everything up, that would be the main three storyline. Sorry, the future bits where you have these one-off, like when you do your Bible and you go, these could be future episodes.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The pilot is always it might be set up as two separate episodes, but it's almost like a two-parter with it. It's connected. It's like a
Mhm.
half hour. So yeah.
Right. I understand. Okay.
Cool.
Anything else you
Thank
want
you.
to ask right now? I mean, I know we're just kind of going back and forth on ideas, but anything specific you wanted to solve at the moment?
No, no, that's really helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. This is kind of really, really early development, so it's the fun stage.
All right. Thank you for that. Anybody else before we go into Blacklist stuff want to talk about a premise they're developing for the upcoming year, something they're planning on writing? Maybe they're trying to decide some something about the story world. You're trying to make choices about who's the main character, which idea should I go with, something like that. Last call. Okay. Well, then we will go right into Blacklist stuff then. I guess everyone has their plan already made. Good to hear. I would recommend continuing to read as well. So I recommend 3 scripts a week. You can draw them from the Blacklist if you want to, or any source at all, or they could be produced features, whatever it is. But if you're trying to write movies, you should be reading movies. If you're trying to write TV, you should be reading TV. All right, so let's instead of doing this by genre, which I thought I would just look at thrillers, they're actually not really sorted by genre in here, so I thought maybe it'd actually be easier just to maybe look at the top 10. And we're going to break them down in a few different categories, and I will need volunteers and active participation for this. So be thinking, do I want to maybe volunteer and participate in this? Because I'll be calling for them in just a moment. To begin with, we're going to set or like list out the categories that we're going to be assessing. First of all, we have the title with a genre or genres. We're going to try to pick two. We have the log line, which they'll provide one for us. It's not going to be incredibly technical. It may not answer every question, but these are kind of like the marketing log lines that are written by the rep teams of the various writers. Let's consider also something like the tone slash style slash approach, and then budget slash scale. Anything else that we should consider here, do you guys think?
Uh, do we want comps?
Oh, great idea. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe let's just include notes. All right. So we're going to do top 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or until we get distracted by something enough to not do all of them. But we're going to look for the things in common. We're going to make a little list, and then we're going to brainstorm some new ideas that use all of those sort of rules. All right. So, Conrad, would you like to volunteer as our analyst to begin with?
Sure, yeah, I'd love to.
All right, let's start with this one. Can you read this out for us?
Do I read it out loud?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Bestseller, Matisse Haddad. In New York's literary scene, struggling writer, pressured by her famous novelist husband to have a baby, pens a tell-all article that goes viral. Sparks a dangerous battle of seduction, manipulation, and the betrayal in the public and private spheres.
All right, thank you for that. That is the #1 script off the blacklist with 48 votes, as you can see. Let's paste in the logline. Oops. We have to make it sort of smaller, I guess. Okay. All right, so let's start with what was the title again? Bestseller. What genre does this sound like, Conrad?
I'm definitely seeing thriller. So we got a struggling writer, tell all article goes viral. So there's definitely some intrigue, dangerous battle of seduction manipulation. All I'm getting out of this is thriller.
Seduction is a pretty big cue to me for erotic thriller.
Ah.
Yeah, a dangerous battle of seduction is basically like the genre description for erotic thriller, to me at least. I haven't read it, so I could be wrong about that. But to me, yeah, the seduction angle, especially because it doesn't feel like life and death is necessarily on the line, does it? It's like seduction, manipulation, and betrayal is sort of telling us what the stakes are. So to me, the erotic thriller is like a slightly less intense version of the thriller that usually revolves around these dangerous romantic entanglements and things like this. It still might escalate to life and death by the end. They often kind of do, but it's not like a constant threat. Okay, what else? And and if anybody has read these, by the way, feel free to weigh in and let us know if we're getting anything off. What would you say are some comps for this one?
First thing that comes to mind is those kind of like journalist thrillers from the late 90s, like Pelican Brief. I can't think of any others, but you know, there was a bunch with like Julia Roberts,
Yeah, wasn't Aaron
the guy
Brockovich
from
like
Eat
a famous
George
one of
Clooney.
these?
Yeah, that's one of the ones.
Yeah. Spotlight was sort of a more modern, like like journalist drama kind of thing. I wonder if maybe we want to throw a an erotic thriller in there as well. Didn't they just recently do a new reboot of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Or what was the other one? They've done a couple of these. Sleeping with the Enemy. Okay, bunch of potential comps. Okay, tone, style, and approach, or just like any other notes on it. I guess maybe let's start with budget slash scale, actually. What do you think? Does this sound like a high or low budget movie?
I would say this would be they're probably going to get want to get some big names in it. That's where most of
Mhm.
the budget's going to go. So I'm thinking 50 million.
Okay. So we'll say mid because of the cast, basically.
Mm,
But in terms of the genre and stuff like this, this is probably a people talking in rooms sort of movie.
yeah.
All right. But yeah, obviously this sort of thing would you want big names on it. Any other notes or things you want to add here?
Tones and style. Well, definitely. I just a lot of grays. Like I want the film grading to be very gray. Um, claustrophobic. Um, and just always high stakes tension type of a tense score.
Okay.
And rapid fire editing. I don't know. That's just all that comes to mind.
Okay. These are like sort of filmmaking considerations, but I guess in terms of the tone and style approach, I'm mostly speaking to the just the writing itself. So in this case, like
Okay.
you're right, you're totally right. Shades of gray, anti-hero story, perhaps high stakes, and maybe I would call this grounded as opposed to stylized, which is often something we're going to incorporate in tone, style, and approach. So does it sound like
Mhm.
something that could only happen in a movie, or does it sound like something that could happen in real life? I think this is more on the grounded,
Absolutely.
realistic side.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's go right ahead into the next one. And you don't have to do all of them, by the way. We can take another volunteer if you
Yeah.
get
I
bored
think
of these.
D King wanted to, I believe D King also wanted to volunteer. I was
Okay.
after them.
Let's do the first page first then. Go ahead with the second one, equity.
Myself
Yes, Conrad.
or okay, yes, okay. Equity, Ward Camel. After an ambitious pharma founder sells a portion of himself to a charismatic billionaire magnate, his word spirals into a high stakes battle to buy back control of his company, his future, and his life.
Thank you for that. A portion of himself. I kind of feel like that probably means like his business, right? In this case, this is not probably like a horror thriller thing, like where he sells his soul or whatever. Do you read that as realistic?
I I'm thinking it could be like something biological, like maybe something in his DNA is what got his pharma going, and then they stole like whatever special enzyme or whatever.
I
It
guess
could
you
be
could
kind of
read it
like
that way.
medical.
Yeah, you could read it that way. I guess I just feel like there would be more of clues that it was in the sci-fi world if that was the case. Like it's so ambiguous that I feel like it almost has to be realistic or else they would have told us more. But I could be wrong.
Hmm.
Let's paste it in. All right, and what I went with size 20 fonts. Okay. And so if we had to guess on the genres, what would you add for this one?
Uh, is there a thing that's like business thriller?
Legal thriller, yeah.
There we go.
Legal. I'll just put sci-fi in a question, but I don't think so.
Mhm.
Okay,
It definitely has
comps.
like science elements.
Yeah, it's
Like
in the
not
world
sci-fi,
of
but
pharma, and it is in the tech science kind of world. That's true.
okay, yeah.
All right. Any
Uh,
guesses on some comps?
oh my goodness. Let me just scoot over it. So Vicious Pharma. Man, like no, nothing jumps off the top of my head. I would think like some stuff like Wall Street because it's
Mhm.
it's kind of like a business thriller or a legal thriller.
Sure.
Any type of lawyer movies. Um,
I'll add Dead Ringers on there, which is kind of a dark drama that takes place in the world of like surgery and medicine and things like this.
Perfect. And then I don't know if the game would count. It probably would. That's a totally different type of deal. But I'm
Venture,
just thinking of one man
yeah,
against like a conglomerate.
it's probably a little more realistic and grounded than that, but I'm not quite sure. We can leave the comps there for now. All right. So yeah, that's I guess our best guess would be that this is grounded legal, kind of like one man versus system kind
Yeah.
of movie. Or like battling it out in the courtroom, in the boardroom kind of movie.
Mhm.
What do you think on the budget and scale?
Same thing, mid-budget. It goes mostly to the actors and the director.
Yeah, sounds like mid just do the cast. And I think we're good on that one. All right. You want to finish up the page, Conrad, with Rush?
Oh, I see. I see what you're doing now. Yes, yes, I'd love to. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hog it because this is a really fun
Yeah,
exercise.
no, all good. We'll do the end of the first page.
Cool. Okay. Rush. Red Massino. Oh, by Reed Massino and Cassidy Alla. When a college student is sexually assaulted by a frat guy who faces no consequences, she and her best friend rush his fraternity undercover to get revenge, only to become the unlikely stars of Delta Lata Kappa's pledge class and get in way too deep.
All right. Rush. Let's start with the there we go. Comps, what do you think? There's an
First
obvious
thing that
one
comes to
that's
mind is
jumping out at
Euphoria.
me. Go ahead.
Euphoria is the first one that comes to mind.
Okay. Good idea. Yep. Dark drama
Deep,
set in the world of school and like education and hazing and Greek life and that kind of stuff.
yes, and D King mentioned Jennifer's Body. I think that's a really good comp for that.
Okay. Good.
Um,
Probably not
Happy.
supernatural, but the tone is probably
Oh,
similar.
true,
Yeah.
true. Okay. Um, what else? I don't know. Virgin Suicides was like that.
Promising Young Woman to
That
See
was
is
more of a
the
boarding school.
pretty obvious one. Like that also revolves around a recent thriller that won Best Screenplay at the Oscars a couple of years ago that revolves around,
Mhm,
getting revenge for, sexual assaults that people did not get punished for. Doesn't involve
mhm.
college as much, but I think that's probably in the same world.
And then the only thing, so I'm going to be wrong on this one. The only other thing that comes to mind is like those Seth Rogen style like college comedies, but this is not coming off as a it could be. I mean, it starts off as definitely not a comedy.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of lost at that point.
a bit darker. I think you might be referring to stuff like Neighbors, like sort of in the raunchy college comedy kind of space, or
Oh,
like
oh,
Jump Street would be like in that
I
same
got one.
kind of like age group. Go ahead.
Rules of Attraction.
Oh, okay, that sounds like the one. Yeah. All right, kind of like dark academia, like
Mhm.
modern day betrayal and revenge around the sort of world of higher education.
Yeah.
Okay, that works pretty well. So, what do you think on genre?
Well, I just don't want to keep saying thriller, but it's kind of like psychological drama. Okay, drama is a better way to say it.
Oh yeah, no, it might be you're
Um,
totally right. It might be sort of like drama slash some kind of thriller, maybe psychological thriller.
yeah. And
Okay.
it's definitely going to be. I'm assuming there's going to be some type of like it's college kids, so I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of sexual stuff happening too. So I don't know if
Oh,
that's
right.
a
But
genre.
I don't no, sexual stuff is not a genre. All right.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
So anything else on the tone style approach or I guess maybe we'll start
I
with
think
and
that's
we'll make that as the last thing. So what about budget first?
budget definitely mid, and it's going to be younger actors. They're going to be cheaper. You might have one or two stars, but I think you can do this with like an unknown cast and still like get this like right off the ground.
Okay. Yep. So maybe we'll say lower mid. Any other notes?
No, I think the comps pretty much covers what I would expect from it.
Okay, let's add a couple. Hot button topic. So this would be like stuff from the headlines that is controversial or is in the news and has a lot of social relevance. So I think the hot
Mhm.
button sort of like social angle is important.
Mhm.
Uh, Anything else? It is young adult cast, but looks like it's for an adult audience, I would guess.
Mhm.
So, but I guess when you're in college, you're like late teens, early 20s, right? So I guess
Yeah,
you've kind of covered that already by comping Euphoria, which is like in that same world of like younger characters but older audience.
yeah.
I'll just put it in this. Okay. Thank you for breaking these three down. Did I skip a slot? No, that's all of them. Rush, equity, and bestseller. Thank you for that. Let's do, I think just because three isn't quite enough to assess trends just yet, let's do one more. Did we had another volunteer for this? Who does somebody want to take the next page of these?
Said I could.
Oh, great. Okay. Let's start at the top of page two. We'll do these three, and then we can start to assess what do they have in common. Let's go with this one. Well, you can start by reading it out for us if you want.
Untouchable, Julian Silver and Reese Clawson Wolf. The true exploits of Elliot Ness during his hunt for the torso murderer, the serial killer whose bloody reign terrorized 1930s Cleveland.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's paste it in. Untouchable. I can already see some titles that would have to change because I'm pretty sure this is referencing The Untouchables, which is another movie about Elliot Ness. So let's add the log line. All right, let's start with genres and comps. What do you think?
Um, it's a mystery thriller.
Hmm.
Um, comps could be um um uh, like penny with a blank.
All good. I can give you some suggestions if you want. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'm just like everything I'm thinking of like a serial killer hunting wise, like is like or like something like that is like TV shows, not film, kind of top of my head.
Okay, so I'll just give you a couple. We have Zodiac. The Black Dahlia is another one that is probably even in the right sort of noir-ish, like Hollywood 1930s, 40s kind of vibe to it. So those would just be, and we're also looking at true stories, right? So this is, if this is in fact a true story, I think it is, then
Yeah,
probably a good idea to comp other true
could.
story as well. Okay. What do you want to add for tone slash style or approach? Any notes here?
Well, you said noir already, but yeah, I mean, it could be a like docu series, kind of like almost like a documentary.
Yeah, docudrama.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds good. How about the budget and scale?
mid.
Mid, yep. I think doesn't exactly sound like an action movie with a lot of CGI, but the historical elements definitely do bump it up.
Yeah, it's because it's dated. Like they'll want to put in like there'll be like like costuming and just like scene picturing. Like obviously like if it's in an area that's been done up or gone through a lot of change or structural differences, and they'll be building a lot of sets
Yeah,
to recreate certain spaces.
for sure. So yeah, I think we can maybe nudge that up to mid slash high just because you'll want big stars for a movie like this, and also just a lot of period cars, a lot of like subtle CGI in the background to make the skylines look right. A lot of yeah, redoing the buildings and streets and things. Okay, thank you for that. Let's round out the page with minnow and fixation. Let's start with this one here.
Minnow Zach Strauss and Chris Silber. When her sister goes missing, Minnow, a seemingly troubled woman, goes to extreme lengths to hunt down the mysterious man who took her. The disturbing truth goes beyond just one missing girl, and nothing, including Minnow, is as it seems.
All right, thank you. Let's break this one down. A little unusual to include the main character's name, but sometimes it's relevant. Okay, let's start with the genres. What's it sound like?
As mystery thriller again.
Yep, I think we're seeing our first trend. Okay, how about comps?
There's one like it's like I've got a Korean movie. I think it's like Ballerina, but not the ballerina. I think it's called The Ballerina, not Ballerina.
Okay.
Um, um, Gone.
Gone, Gone, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll add a couple of my own just because this is what leaps to mind for me. I might say like Dark Places, in the kind of Gillian Flynn subgenre, and then I maybe like another sort of amateur vigilante
Vanished.
investigator movie like the Brave one. Oh, go ahead.
And Vanished.
Oh, are you saying
No,
Vanished?
Vanished.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I think we get the world that we're in. Amateur investigator, vigilante justice. All right, let's start with the budgets.
Uh, I mean, it could be anywhere on that list. Like, it could be anywhere low to high, depending on if there's any action or like where this goes and how much is in it. I'd go like mid just to play it safe.
Okay. I think with especially grounded investigation mystery type series, it doesn't really seem like it would have a huge cast. And it probably wouldn't require a lot of CGI or elaborate locations. So my guess would be low to mid, yeah. All right, any other notes on style, tone, or approach?
Mm.
Okay. Let's see, anything else we want to add? Extreme lengths to hunt down the mysterious man who took her. The disturbing truth. Okay, sounds like a psychological thriller to me. So it could be like, what do we call him? A unreliable narrator. Okay. We have one more on the second page. Let's finish it off with this one.
Sienna Butterfield and Erica Vasquez. A couple's therapist is drawn into a dangerous triangle of lust, lies, and manipulation when she begins an affair with a stranger who turns out to be the husband of her new client.
All right. Thank you for that. More seduction and manipulation. Seems to be popular nowadays. Fixation. All right. Genres? Are you still there?
It could be a thriller or a drama.
Oh, okay. Yep, I agree. And I think affairs, manipulation, this also is just a lot of keywords for erotic thriller.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because again, it doesn't really seem like life and death is on the line at the very start.
Yeah.
Whereas erotic thrillers usually don't start there, but they do kind of get there. All right, any comps in mind?
The couple next door.
The car park, that's a movie?
The couple next door.
Or the couple next door? Okay, anything else?
A secret affair.
Thank you for that. Yep, lots of movies that you might call in the sort of lifetime space that are about, they're like domestic thrillers, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that budget or scale?
I think like low mid.
Yeah, I think so. You'll want some attractive, popular actors for this one, but they're not exactly going to be getting in car chases. Any other notes? Okay, we can wrap up there with that one. Alrighty, let's maybe take a look at our first six and see what we have in common. Okay, so our genres in the top 10, we have number one, erotic thriller, legal, perhaps, type of like a grounded legal thriller. We have a dramatic thriller, mystery thriller, another mystery thriller. This one, we have one that was historical and one contemporary mystery thriller. An erotic drama, psychological thriller of some kinds. Okay, I think we can see our first trends. What do you guys think is the genre commonality here that we're seeing?
Thriller.
Okay. Anything else?
Psychological.
Yep, bit of psychological. Anyone else? We'll need people to speak up and be active in this event in order to get the best analysis. Anything else you guys notice?
Relationship.
Yeah, relationship slash
Erotic.
erotic. Yeah, I guess we could say we saw at least two or three of those.
Business/legal.
Yeah, definitely saw. And let's consider that like story worlds. Big business, so like boardroom stuff, both in the world of pharma and also finance. What else do we see?
College. Well, we only had one college one, but that seems
Yeah.
to be a pop.
You'd still consider like education as one of the story worlds. What else do we see?
There's a lot of stuff more grounded in reality, or not
Yeah,
not fantasy.
right. Tone slash style, more grounded, less fantastical, and I guess that's kind of means the same thing. But yeah, more grounded, modern day mostly. There was one
I
historical.
think a lot of them
Go ahead.
morally grey.
Yeah, definitely. Anti-hero, unreliable narrator, morally gray, tones of good and like shades of in between good and evil kind of stuff.
Yeah, just like I feel like it's good. Like it's like to just like displays justice. Like
Oh yeah, like dissatisfaction with justice or the system like taking care of things as it should.
or like questioning what justice is. Um, like obviously taking it into your own hands, or like
Hmm. Definitely a good
um,
commonality. Go ahead, Becky.
more character driven rather than being plot heavy.
Okay. Yep, one of them even had a character's name as the title, and it seemed to really revolve around this specific person.
Betrayal seems to be kind of something I picked up on. Like there's
Yeah,
a business
that's
betrayal,
true.
like relationship betrayal.
We'll just put that under the list of tropes.
Serial killer.
Were there serial killers? There was one and two. Yep, there were at least two. Yeah, we'll put it on there. So yeah, maybe we'll even put that under the world of serial killer slash true crime. So there were a couple that were like, even if they weren't exactly true crime, felt like kind of true crime-ish. Like, where was it? Somebody, her sister goes missing now. I have to be the one to solve this cold case kind of thing. For a while, it seemed like the like big trope in mystery thrillers was like podcast, like true crime podcast hosts. It was like maybe it was Gillian Flynn that kind of started this because Dark Places was a book slash movie that did feature a like pretty prominent plot element of like true crime fans being in the story. But then for a while, it was like almost every blacklist had like 3 or 4 stories about like an amateur true crime podcast host goes back to their hometown to solve this murder that nobody's able to solve, but then they're the one that gets embroiled in the middle of it. And at the end, guess what? They do a podcast all about it. There were a bunch of those, so just be aware of that trope, I guess. Um,
One of
let's
them was
go
also the
ahead.
killer. One of the podcast people was also the killer, and like became a copycat killer to maintain the podcast going. In like one of the in that series that you were saying, like in like like the podcast is going back and solving a crime. One of them, like like at least one, if not two, like copycats as well.
Makes
To like
sense.
to maintain like the popularity of their podcast.
Yeah, to keep the show going, sort of like in the Scream movies, characters are always doing stuff like that. All right. Shall we look at a few more? Any other commonalities you guys want to note so far?
It seems like there was tension like throughout the stories. There were like there was no like comic relief or anything that I could pick up from, at least for what information that we got so far. So it's like just tense all the way through.
Sure. Serious, heavy
Yeah.
stories. No comedies,
You got
though.
some strong,
Go ahead.
you got some strong female characters.
Sure.
Because like like Manal's leading one, the other one's an affair, but it's like she's having an affair with her client's husband, but she's in a position of power. So it's like the power dynamics are like quite strongly emphasized.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Big
Uh,
emphasis on female leads nowadays. Go ahead.
Budgets are low to mid, nothing like really, really high.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Yeah.
Except for the historical one. That one would definitely edge up, but yeah, low to mid.
Um, See, I question. Well, actually, I suppose it depends on where you're filming, but like I put in the chat, we had a historical film that was filmed in the UK, and it was literally filmed down the road from me where I live. Filmed in Arundel because Arundel looks old, and so all they had to do was do a couple of repainting on some of the shops. And then just CGI out like the drainage and things like that, and suddenly it looked like it was an 1800s street.
Right. That's easier to do in the UK. That's, that's
Right,
it's
okay.
it and also I guess just it's considered more of a niche genre here. So if it ever were to be made, they would only do it if you got A-list stars, which would mean the budget would have to be huge anyway. And so you just don't see small scale historical movies being made in the US really.
Do you think that's why there is more historical stuff made in the UK?
Because
There's
of
loads
taste
of
or because
historical,
of the budget.
uh, because it's easier to do budget wise. I mean, there
Yeah,
is interest in it, but also we've still got the old houses that my husband
for
just
sure.
shouted yes at me. Like they didn't have to do much to Downton Abbey,
Yeah.
you know.
Right. No, I think that is a big part of it. It's easier to make there because the sets, the infrastructure, they're easier to come by, and you have a lot of history you can draw from a lot of different eras. You can dress up a street to look like it's 1900 or like 1950 pretty easily. Like, there's not way too many adjustments you have to do, but here it's way tougher and it's way more expensive and takes way longer and requires a lot more CGI and stuff like this. So, it only really happens in those huge scale productions. We don't have the same culture of like tiny little low budget historical stuff.
Right. Cool.
Be cool if we did. We did in the 50s and 60s when we had sort of like standing Western sets. We still have a few of them. But that's why there were so many of those shot at that time. It's very easy to just film them on the standing set.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break down one more page of these, so just 3 more, and then we will be ready to finalize our assessments definitively with no room for error. Just kidding. We're not experts, but we try our best. Let's do 3 more. Do we have one more volunteer?
I'll do it if you want, but you might need to help with some of the comps.
Okay. All good. So let's just make sure this is page 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Becky, why don't you take us through the last page and then we'll wrap up with analyzing for now.
Okay. Building Bowie, Alan Fox. In a near future, obsessed with AI-generated nostalgia, a repressed droid wrangler is assigned to build a David Bowie replica. But as the droid begins evolving beyond its programming, the wrangler must confront the creative dreams she buried and decide whether to protect her job or risk everything to reclaim her voice.
Okay. We got to our first weird one.
I think
Building
I need to
Bowie.
read that again.
Okay, 1 second. I'll paste it in. There's a lot going on there.
There is. Future. I mean, obviously, it's going to be sci-fi, but
Mhm.
in a near future, obsessed with AI-generated nostalgia, a repressed droid wrangler is assigned to build a David Bowie replica. But as the droid begins evolving beyond its programming, so the David Bowie droid starts evolving beyond its programming,
Mhm.
the wrangler must confront the creative dreams she buried and decide whether to protect her job or risk everything to reclaim her voice. I don't understand the last bit. Yeah, I was wondering if it's a musical.
Maybe.
Because of voice and dreams.
I mean, you gotta have some
Um,
songs in it for sure.
I don't understand the connection between the David Bowie, the Wrangler, yeah, the droid becoming. I mean, it's David Bowie, so it's got to be songs. So yeah, it's got to be some sort of musical,
Okay. Yeah,
or
we'll
not necessarily musical, but you know, like how Bohemian Rhapsody is music adjacent.
okay. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly specifically what reclaiming her voice means in this case either, but we don't need to spend too long on the log lines themselves.
Yeah.
These are just for marketing type purposes. I think we get the basics. It's like a Frankenstein type story. You get hired to make a David Bowie robot. You make one. He's really great at first, but then he has hopes and dreams of his own. And so you now need to decide, do I destroy it or do I, violate the law or the rules and get in trouble for trying to, maybe allow him to pursue his own life, something along those lines. Is that the impression you got?
Yeah, and as I think a comp might be not necessarily style wise, but story wise, Megan.
Okay,
Uh,
you mean the horror thriller one with the
yeah,
robot girl?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it definitely has that element of making the robot that does more than it's designed to, but it may not be the best comp just because that's such a horror movie. I wonder if we can think of
yeah.
other stories of like, do you know Bicentennial Man, for instance?
Oh, AI.
Oh, there you go. You mean the Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Any others come to mind? It's okay if not. Two is all we need.
Oh, yeah.
I,
No.
I
Go
Robot.
on.
Did I hear one more?
I was thinking Ex Machina, but it's more of a horror.
Yeah, that is a bit more of a horror thriller type thing. But in the world of robotics, maybe we'll pick
VK
which one?
had an idea.
Go ahead.
VK had an idea.
iRobot, Will Smith's.
Oh, iRobot could be. If it ends up going in that action adventure kind of direction, maybe that would be a good comp. All right, we have enough robot movies. I think we get the idea. Any other notes on the production? So let's start with budget and scale, Becky.
Probably cost quite a bit. I'd say
Yeah.
high range of mid to high.
Yeah, we've got future setting and licensed music. And who
Oh
can
yeah,
play
that's
David Bowie,
as well.
right? Like you have so few actors that can really play Bowie that I feel like it's going to be quite expensive to get just the right one. Tone style approach. Anything come to mind here?
No, this could go. This could go like comedy kind of style, like you know, like The Fifth Element has a lot of comedy in it.
Mhm.
But it could also go dark horror way, like Megan. Me. So
I guess I just wouldn't guess that just based on, the second half of the logline kind of suggests the trajectory of the story to us. And the fact that it's mostly about the creative dreams of the creator, it's not like she must then struggle for survival when blank and blank goes wrong. I think it's sort of telling us that it's probably not one of those life and death stakes stories.
okay. So what's the tone of AI? Because AI is not funny.
Not really. I would
The
say it's sort
Spielberg
of
one.
melancholy.
Yeah. So it could go well, that's what I was meaning, not really horror. I was like, it could go like it could be like a fun romp like uh Fifth Element, or it could be like really deep and down like AI.
Good
I
point. I
don't
guess yeah, we can't know for sure unless we read it. What would you assume just from what we've seen?
But heartwarming.
Maybe it could be heartwarming if we. I guess it sort of depends on the ending, doesn't it?
Yeah.
first half of it, I was thinking this sounds like it's going to be funny. I mean, it's a David Bowie robot, basically. But then the creative dreams she buried and decide whether to protect her job or risk everything to reclaim her voice. And then go, oh, this is fun. Earl says it's a drama.
Okay, drama. Got it. All right, so yeah, I guess maybe the word absurd would be better than funny because it's like kind of a ridiculous situation, but it doesn't mean it has to be played for laughs.
Would inspirational work? Because like it's somebody trying to like achieve their dreams.
That could
I don't
be.
know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's go to leverage.
Okay.
Sorry, I
Leverage.
cut it off just a little bit. There you go.
Leverage. John Farron. After a high-profile murder threatens a multi-billion-dollar hostile takeover, an embattered Wall Street titan emerges as the prime suspect and must win a war of perception in order to protect her empire at all costs. Dragon's right, there's a lot of strong female
Yeah,
coming up in a lot of these.
this one feels like it's just all of our tropes that we talked about in our breakdown, right? We've got
Yeah.
mystery thriller, we've got big business and like boardroom stuff.
Yeah.
Leverage. All right, start with genre.
Um, yeah. The the corporate thriller.
Yeah, so maybe we'll say mystery slash legal. Oh, my headphones might be dying. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, they're just low battery, I think. All right, comps.
Um, I mean, kind of thought of that Wolf of Wall Street, but
It
I
goes
don't
with
know if
Wall
that
Wall
quite
Street.
matches.
It's not exactly a mystery. Wolf of Wall Street's more of a biopic. Maybe
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
pick stuff that involves mystery elements and big business if you can think of anything. Something that comes to mind to me is the Apple TV show called Presumed Innocent, which is basically about a high-profile prosecutor that becomes a suspect in a murder. And he's also kind of romantically involved with the victim and stuff like that. So kind of the, people in suits that are also on the verge of getting arrested for big crime kind of world. Does Wall Street have two L's or one? It is two L's. I'm thinking Walmart.
The
Okay.
game, the game, really old one, I know, but
You're talking the movie, the game. I think somebody brought that up earlier.
yeah,
That's not that old. That's from like 1997. So again,
yeah. Sorry,
yeah,
old in like
it might be a bit more stylized in this, but we can still include it just because it's sort of in that world of, yeah, you're right. Rich people in suits who are in trouble because of murders. Okay. How about the budget and scale?
good. I mean, again, it depends. You might want to get a couple of really good named actors for this to make it stand out.
Hmm. I mean, a word like multi-billion in the logline also sort of tells us the scenery and the settings that we're in to me. So to me, I think that would say this is going to be expensive. We're going to be shooting in like palaces and mansions and stuff the whole time, right? Any other notes on the tone, style, or
So I just read Joy's. I wonder why rich people in suits in trouble because of murder is popular.
it's got almost everything people want. I mean, if they're sexy too, then it's like literally everything that people want. Sexy people in fancy clothes with life or death stakes. You can't get like more visceral entertainment than that. All right. Any other notes on this one?
don't think there's any notes. Again, it's character driven.
All right. I think we have one more, and then we'll be ready to start coming up with some of our own ideas based on these trends. This one is called Untitled Erotic Teen Fan Fiction Movie. Wow. All right. Let me get out of your way.
This is the one. Is Nacho in the room with us right now?
Is Nacho
Yeah,
in the room
yes,
with us?
Nacho.
Can he hear us?
Yes.
We read this one.
Oh, you read this one.
It was that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, with the writer girl. Yes.
Yes.
And the
Nacho
football
made
dude.
us read this. I was highly embarrassed. I had to read The Horny Teen while my husband was in the room staring at me.
How was it?
I left after the first act.
Oh, no.
It made me a bit uncomfortable, I will be honest.
It was really good. It had all of like, the teenage like movie high school tropes, and they lean into it in a fun way. At the end, I loved it. I thought it was really well put together.
The story felt really good. I did want to know what happened because it is a really good story. The kid gets potentially a job, like a publishing contract. But yeah, I was just uncomfortable.
Okay, all
So
good.
Morgan Lemon, Lemon. Delaney Pitts is a nerdy teenage virgin who has a secret online life as an erotic fan fiction author. But when a publisher tasks her with writing a book about her non-existent high school love life, she's forced to team up with a top expert in the field, the slutty quarterback of the football team.
All right. Think I get it. I wrote a musical in high school that was a little bit like, or in college that was a little bit like this. Untitled erotic teen fan fiction
Was
movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can. It's definitely comedy.
Mhm. All right, comedy. Let's list some comps.
Don't watch things like that, so I'm out on this. I have no comps.
Okay, well,
Seth
we'll
Rogen
go from there.
comedies.
Okay.
Like,
So let's just
any
pick
type
one,
of
like,
Seth
is
Rogen.
this in the world of like super bad kind of stuff? Is that what you mean?
That's close enough. Yeah, that's probably a good comp. Yeah.
Okay.
Legally
any other-
Blonde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Anyone?
know because I like Legally Blonde. This is like teen. This is like a teen. Like it because it's teen problems. It's high school.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
upbeat. Yeah.
This feels like American Pie meets Tell Me Lies.
Haven't heard of that one, but okay. Seems like you guys have a pretty
10,
good sense of the world.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, okay.
and things I
10
haven't
Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe book smarts. I mean, the fact that it's a sort of female friend team up type of storyline, it sounds like, means that if you can pick a comp that suggests that, then I typically would. This is typically a very male skewing genre. I guess 10 Things I Hate About You is like on the other side of things. But in any case, let's speak to the genre comps. Let's speak to the budget and scale.
Sorry. I mean, it's modern day. It's a school setting. I think the concept itself sells as a concept, so probably low to low mid. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we can say
doesn't
that.
need much.
If you consider also like, do you need big stars for a movie like this? You might want one for the lead, but besides that, I think this audience doesn't always require everyone to be an A-list actor. Like, if you look at the world of high school musicals and stuff like that, that's actually a good opportunity to debut newer actors that are finding their footing rather than picking A-list ones that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other notes on that one?
Definitely needs it would definitely be rated. I don't know what your rating was again, but for us it'd be 18.
Okay, so Rashi,
Yeah,
anything else?
maybe 15. I don't know. Um,
Was it surreal or and stylized or realistic?
It was realistic.
Yes.
It was realistic, except the very first scene at the beginning. It was
And
like
the one with Loki
Sorry, say that again.
and the scene with Loki as well.
it's
It has some
Loki.
moments of kind of like daydreams. So it's got some surreal scenes, but the actual story takes place in a grounded high school dramedy type of way.
Okay, okay.
More comedy than anything.
yeah, we see what she's writing.
Oh, okay. So you sort of take on the perception of the main character at certain points. Makes sense.
Yes.
All right. So we now have 9 scripts broken down. Let's add these to our list and see if that changes the calculus at all, or maybe just reinforces what we've already been seeing. All right. So these most recent ones, we had a sci-fi, the first sci-fi / music one. This might be our kind of outlier this year. I will add on the notes for this one IP / real people. And was there one more with real people in it as well? Maybe not.
Was there
Only that one, the torso killer one.
The torso killer, that's right. So we do have to consider that IP as well.
I think the problem with the David Bowie is, as far as I'm aware, he's not the music isn't copyright free yet.
Yeah, no, for sure not. So that would all be licensed music. Okay, so let's do a count. Let's have somebody be ready to keep a tally for us. Becky, do you want to just, because I was just speaking to you, do you want to keep a quick tally?
Yep.
Okay, so in terms of thrillers, we have 1, ambiguous, not really, 2, 3, 4, basically 5. All right, 5 out of 9 are thrillers. The other ones would be, we had 1 sci-fi. I think we had, it was either 2 or 3 legals. 1, 2, yeah, 3 legal ones. And then comedy, I think there was 1. Did I miss anything? Drama, thriller. A lot of them have elements of drama, but I don't think there was any that was pure drama. Yeah, that's it. All right. So it's all mystery thrillers, legal, and 1 sci-fi and 1 comedy. Is that right, Becky?
Yep, that's what I got there.
All right. So thriller / psychological, relationship erotic, we'll say big business / rich people. And then these aren't really part of the trend, so I'll just put there's outliers are 1 comedy, 1 sci-fi. All right, so let's maybe just build a profile of like what would be the sort of like the tags that we would be aiming for. How do we condense this down, right? So let's start a new page.
Crime drama.
Crime drama. Okay. Yep, crime definitely came up a lot. Okay, let's start with a list of we'll start with genre. We'll look at tone / style, and then notes here. All right. So genres were either thriller, mystery, drama for the most part. Our tone and style was more grounded. We had a fair amount of betrayals / soapy relationship elements. Big business, high legal stakes. What else should we add here?
Rich people getting comeuppance.
Right? Yeah, sort of like dissatisfaction with the system type stories.
Leave it as high stakes instead of high legal stakes because there's a number of actually quite a significant number that have high stakes. Then you have the distraction of the system kind of like covers the other half.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anything else?
Hey, the
Erotic.
things,
Some erotic ones, yeah.
the things that
Almost every. Sorry, go ahead.
the things that aren't a thriller, so are doing the other genres like the comedy and the science, sci-fi, are very out there. Like I've not heard of someone making a whole movie about erotic fan fiction that the script actually was good. I mean, I felt uncomfortable, but the script was good. Or the idea of the David Bowie AI, mixing David Bowie music with AI is very out there.
Yeah, maybe we can think of that as something like if it's not in the box, then it's a wild swing that's sort of very far
Oh
outside
yeah,
the box.
he done it, yeah.
Almost everything is modern day.
Yeah, all except one or modern. Okay.
No time travel.
Yes, there was no time travel. Let's do a quick scroll. Any time travel on page 4? Nope. More thrillers though.
There is one. The
Is there
altar
one?
is
Yeah, there are-
travel in it.
There are, I think two or three.
Oh dear. Here we go. Here's one.
Nick of Time.
Yep, there you go. Even though there's already a
And
movie called
alts.
It's like that film Leverage. That's name of a TV show.
There's also a long-running TNT show called Leverage. Yes.
Yeah, I love
5
that show.
seasons. Maybe not that long-running.
That's pretty long. I love that show. And then they came back and did Redemption.
Oh, like a sequel series.
Yeah.
So let's just do a quick scroll through and see if anything else jumps out to us. We've got First Horror. Seems to be about a guy in, again, big business, except he's turning into a monster. Go ahead. Did you have a comment?
Yeah. First mention of like London, it's not America.
Yep, first mention of London. But it is an American
It is an
protagonist,
American,
it would
yeah.
seem.
Not
And
set.
yeah, seems to be turning into some sort of maybe it's like the substance where he's turning into some sort of body horror creature. West Coast living. Mysterious man outside a middle-class home and noise complaint, a relentless campaign of psychological warfare. Another thriller here. We've got a remote abandoned village, a mystery about mass disappearance, unexpected paranoia and terror. Okay, another maybe mystery horror kind of one. America's favorite couple. Tom dies at his mistress's bed. Polar opposites Helen and Melody. So we have another sort of female friend team up. Decide to move the body to conceal the scandal. Okay, so cover up the body or hide the body kind of movie. Fun genre. A woman searches for answers after surviving a mysterious abduction. Wow, a mysterious logline there. Again, in the sort of amateur sleuth kind of space, it seems like. Former rodeo star, caught between dangerous criminal past and fragile shot at redemption, drawn into a dangerous run of heists and betrayals. More with betrayal, while trying to find a way back to his family. Okay, that sounds like a crime, straight up crime robbery type of story. Let's look at one more page. Unicorn. When a tech mogul and his wife invite a third into their marriage for a weekend away, their sexually charged celebration devolves into a cat and mouse game of deception. Yet again, an erotic thriller.
And
I'm telling you,
tech.
they're back. They're coming back. Wild Palms. An ambitious grifter and a seasoned reptile hunter form an unlikely partnership to exploit Florida's exotic wildlife for profit. But their risky black market ventures lead them into a world of danger, betrayal, and life-altering consequences. So much betrayal. I feel like betrayal. How many times does the word betrayal come up in this list?
The keyword 2026.
Turns out, yeah. Betrayal and dissatisfaction with the system. Last one. Blackout. When an eco-terrorists attack Los Angeles power grid and orchestrate a cascading citywide blackout, a jaded former Secret Service agent and a brilliant but unassuming engineer must fight their way across the metropolis in the dark to restore power before the city collapses. That sounds cool. Wow, it's like a Van Damme movie or like a Stallone style action movie. Thank God. I don't see enough of these specs anymore.
And Joyce asked a question. I think you might need to clarify what the blacklist is, because it's a good question if people aren't aware of it. Joy put, but isn't there something like this is all those that are getting passed on, so it means they're not coming back.
No, these all can get
So-
hit. No, okay. Let's clear up what the blacklist is. And here's a quick explanation of it, just from, let me make sure that's centered. This is from the document. So this is compiled from the suggestions of 500 film executives, each of whom contributed the names of up to 10 of their favorite feature film screenplays that were written in or are uniquely associated with that given year and have not begun principal photography during that calendar year. So these are like popular scripts that have been voted on by a pretty closed group of executives and sometimes high-level assistants. Each script had to get at least 10 votes in order to get on the blacklist. It is not a best of list or a most liked list. It is simply like stuff that is getting voted on right now. So hopefully that tells you why it's important and why we pay attention to it, but it's not like the end all be all of the most important scripts or anything like that.
Where do you find it? I think his phone died.
Yeah, that's
I
what it
think
sounds
so
like.
as well. I think it's frozen. So it's blacklist.com. Let me bring it up. Um, so hang on, let me make sure I get the right one.
Connor's saying that there's a list that he put into.
He's put it in. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, there you go. You got the list there. Yeah, I think his sound's gone. Yeah, Mike died. He did say it was running low on battery. But yeah, the blacklist is quite good. There's some really good scripts in there. Sometimes during table reads, if we haven't had a script, Nacho or whoever's running it will pick a blacklist script, and we'll read that. It can be a really good learning opportunity. That's how some of us had read the untitled fan fiction one. It was blacklist script that Nacho brought to us. Connor's just got to reconnect. It's a very good question. But yeah, the black. I think the name is a bit ironic, as in they did it on purpose, because like you said, blacklist is normally has been passed, so it's kind of back.
Are you still having issues with his mic?
No, still having issues. Does anyone here read or has anyone read any of the blacklist scripts?
Yeah, I'm quite a way through actually. I think I've read